Welcome to RV Talk Radio. Here we talk about RV living, RV lifestyles, and RV travel. We also celebrate the RV lifestyle that gives us the chance to do outdoor activities that we couldn't do in a normal lifestyle. So thanks for joining us. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, and let's talk about RVs. Well, hello everyone. This is Rob from RV Talk Radio, and I have a guest with me today. Derek. This is Derek Rentschler.
What's up, you guys?
Yep. And what I really admire about Derek is he does some radio shows with me on Arizona Talk Radio. But what I like the idea is, when we talk about RVs, we always put RV people in it.
Sure.
So I'm an RVer, or we interview a person that's involved in RVs. So we're all sold on the RV thing. But you don't have an RV yet.
I don't, but always wanted one.
So you're going to be the outsider looking in, and that's who we're actually always trying to do shows for.
I like it, yeah.
And so I think having your presence here and your questions and your feedback is going to be really good here. So
nice.
So today's show, we have a great interview with Campanda.
Yes.
And they're RV share. So my first question to you, I'd love to hear your answer.
Okay.
Is let's say you want to go up to Washington State and go salmon fishing.
Maybe
up to Westport.
Okay.
And so you want to go up for a couple of weeks and also do some salmon fishing and go visit Washington State. You've never been there before.
Yep.
And there's all the way you could drive up and stay in hotels and stuff. But what if someone came along to you and said, "Well, you want to use my RV? Would that be something you're interested in?"
Without a doubt. Because the one thing is you're having to go back to the hotel after you're done fishing and all those things.
Yeah.
To have basically the RV on location or very close by to where you're going to be doing your activities.
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. And it's just you're in the middle of the wilderness. You're involved. I love that fact.
So if it's not in a personal matter, would you be interested in a Class C, which I kind of explained what they look like, or something smaller, or would you want a fifth wheel or a motorhome or something big or medium size?
That's a great question. I would do a Class A if I had a big group, but if I had a group of 4, I would do a Class C.
Yeah.
Because I don't have the towing, basically the capacity or even the hitch or nothing to tow that for a fifth wheel, but it depends on the group. But I love how you can drive up to the location and just set your spot and just start camping.
Yeah, and you could move it around.
Yeah.
And then my understanding, if you had an RV, you'd probably have all the cooking stuff you want.
Yeah, exactly.
It has restroom facilities.
Full kitchen.
Yeah, and if you got a couple of people together, you could kind of share the cost. So
exactly.
I imagine it's not the cheapest thing in the world.
Sure.
But I'm guessing you and I did a little homework ahead of time. So I'm looking. It was probably around $250, $500 a day, something like that.
Yeah, it ranged. So the Class C's, it went from anywhere to $50 up to around $250. Yeah. The Class A's are where it got a little bit more pricier, just based on how nice the model was or how old it was.
Those things are, those could be $1 million machines. So we're kind of setting up our show a little bit for an interview we did.
Yeah.
And we're not going to start it off yet because I still want to interrogate Derek here a little bit.
The newbie.
The newbie. So first of all, we we have a really good following on this show.
Yeah.
And so first of all, this is I want to make sure you got his name right. It's Derek Rentschler, and I love to hear feedback in our comments of did you enjoy the fact that we brought in a kind of different aspect of the show of not. Otherwise, my concern in RV lifestyle is we love, there's no doubt I love RVing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And there's no doubt the people I interview that do RVing love it too. And they push it, you got to come do it. But I don't feel like sometimes we represent really the whole story.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So I really think your input's going to be, so please blurt it out there when thoughts come to your mind.
The first thing that I've always been intrigued to travel around the world in an RV and just to be able to move from location to location, not to worry about getting a hotel and doing all that. I love the fact that you don't have to have a little car to put around in. You can just use your vehicle or get a Class A and drive around yourself. So that the convenience of that makes me really excited.
And I think, I understand it, some of these rentals, you could actually get their dolly or something and actually tow your car behind it.
Exactly. You can bring your car if necessary. So.
And the other thing I got the impression is like if you're going to rent your RV, which I would be concerned, like I was like, well, could I rent my fifth wheel out?
Yeah.
I want to know who's doing it.
Yep.
And I want to get, and if they're driving my vehicle,
yes.
Like, and I also heard that people can, you could actually rent your RV and your truck if you're concerned about what's pulling it.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, that's kind of interesting concept. And but I mean, like, and the concept goes farther than just somebody grabbing your RV and driving. Let's say I set up my RV in like Lake Havasu.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe in an RV park down here in Arizona, where Snowbird could come down for 4 months during the nice season and rent it from me and use it in one of the parks.
Yeah, not to drive it down here. You know,
I mean, it'd be somebody that, one is I could go check up on them.
Yeah.
And two, get them familiar with the system. I know who's in it.
Exactly.
And not to mention using this company, Campanda, I could have the insurance coverage and concerns that you would normally have having someone use your rig.
Covered already. And it kind of takes the pain away from everything. You know? That's kind of nice. Yeah,
so I mean, that would be something that wet your whistle, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, what really drew me is you had a great question before the show is, where can we take it? What places can and can't we? But I love the fact that if we had to rent an RV, and let's say you have a fifth wheel, which is a big rig, it's you need a specific truck to pull it around. So I don't have that vehicle, but the fact that I could pay you and you can drop it off at certain locations for me and set it up, that's so much more convenient, because then we can drive our vehicles up there and just start camping and relax and not have to worry about towing it, because my major concern is towing it and being able to drive it without wrecking it.
And I kind of like that idea that when I was reading the facts, is like I could actually not even let somebody tow it.
Exactly.
And I could tow it for them to their location.
That piqued my interest big time.
Yeah, now that would make me feel a lot better, especially with a trailer or fifth wheel, because not everybody can pull one of those.
No, they're difficult. I mean, like you said, backing up. That's one of the hard things with those things.
Yeah, I think it might be a little different at a motorhome or a Class C or something like that, and people want to drive around a little bit.
Yeah.
But if they're just like, we're coming down to Lake, Sedona, or going down to Sedona. And we have a space all rented out. Can you bring the rig up there on a certain date? And put it in its spot, and they have arrangements with the RV park. It's like, sweet.
Yeah, there's a place up in Pine Top called Holly Lake. And I just want an RV there, because they have a campsite and they have cabins you can rent. Well, the cabins, they're kind of old, and I would rather have been there a long time. And so I would rather have an RV parked in their campsite, which is right by the lake, so I can wake up early as possible and just start fishing and not have to go anywhere. I can go right back to the RV and just take a shower and go on with my day. So I love that.
So anyway, so we're kind of tickled on this show today.
Yeah, excited.
We have a gentleman named Nick, and I know I'm going to butcher his last name, but Kabasic?
Kabasic.
Yeah. So he's the COO of Campanda.
Yeah, Campanda.
I always want to say Pania, but it's Panda, like the animal. Panda.
Camp Panda.
CAM Panda.
Yep.
And we did a phone interview.
Great interview.
And we want to share that with you. And Derek was with me on the interview.
Yep.
And this was very educational.
Big time.
So I urge everybody to sit back, relax, give yourself about a half hour. That's how long this interview is.
Yep.
And we'll be back on right after the interview. Anyway, so here's how the interview went. All right, so we have the privilege to meet with Nick Kabasic. Did I say that right, Nick? He's on the line with us.
That's correct.
All right, and he is the COO of Campanda. Did I say that right? Campanda. And what's really neat about this is I know so many people that don't own RVs but would love to have one. Or rent one out. And then there's a lot of people that have RVs sitting on the side of the house and they're not using them. And so we got just the man on the phone here to tell us about a RV sharing service. Is that correct? Can you tell us a little bit more about Campanda?
Absolutely. Well, first off, Rob and Derek, I want to thank you for having me on the show here. It's a pleasure to be here and be talking with you.
You bet.
Campanda is the world's largest marketplace for RV rentals, and we connect RV owners who own an RV and don't get to use it full time or maybe as much as they'd like to, with renters who are looking to have a fun RV adventure. We do that in 42 countries around the world.
That's what really threw me is we found out that this isn't just a USA thing. This thing's worldwide.
Yeah, international. It's awesome.
Absolutely, yeah. It's one of the differentiators that makes Campanda kind of unique in this RV rental marketplace.
Yeah.
But the United States is one of our most rapidly growing markets. You know, we've got tons of amazing RV owners here in the U.S. and really incredible national parks and destinations and a lot of demand for rentals here in the U.S. So it's a market that's growing for us quite rapidly.
Amazing. So what makes you different from the other RV short companies out there?
That's a great question. So there are a couple differentiators from the RV owner and renter standpoint as far as the experience goes around our insurance product and the roadside assistance product that we offer for rentals through Campanda. They're extremely comprehensive products. I won't bore you with the details, but for any owner or renter out there, I would tell you it's important to do your homework about what you're getting when you rent an RV or when you rent out an RV, and that those services are things that we pride ourselves on. But I would say the differentiator that we hear time and time again from both owners and renters that makes Campanda a unique experience as far as RV rental goes is not to sound too cheesy, but our customer support and service team. And we really pride ourselves on that. We're a company where if you have a question as an owner considering doing this, an owner actively doing it with the rental coming up, or a renter who's trying to square away their vacation, that you don't get lost as a ticket in a system and automated responses, that we're on the phone with you. You've got a real person in our office here in Boston, Massachusetts, who's helping you out, making sure that you have all of the support you need, the questions you want answered, to make sure that you have a great process.
Yeah, so now location, we're in Arizona, and let's say I want to either rent out or rent from Campanda. My location is supported just fine as being in Arizona, Washington, or Massachusetts. Is that correct?
That's correct. So probably good to clarify here a little bit the way Campanda works. So we are not a rental agency per se. We don't own any RVs ourselves. We are a platform that connects the RV owner and the renter.
Oh, good.
And so while we are physically located here in Boston, Mass, and if you give us a call, you'll be speaking to a member of our team here. The RV owners and renters that we support are all over the country and all over the world. And so in the U.S., as an RV owner, we'll work individually with each owner to figure out what the best location to list their RV is.
Gotcha.
Some RV owners like to rent directly from their home because that's where they keep it stored, in their driveway or garage.
Yeah.
Some owners use a third-party facility, where they keep the RV stored, and we'll meet a renter there. And then we actually have a growing trend of owners that like to meet the renter in a third-party location, for example, like a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah,
that gives them the opportunity to have some space to do a little loop around the lot, make sure that the renter understands the specifics of their rig and has an opportunity to give it a quick test drive with them before they hit the road.
Gotcha. So most likely, if I'm being from Arizona, I would use your system to probably find someone renting a rig or an RV in my general region or area. Is that correct?
Yeah, so what you would do is, if you were an owner who was interested in listing, is you would go on to Campanda.com and you would hit that list your RV button, and there's a couple quick, easy steps where you upload great pictures and write a description, talk about what makes your RV special, and then when interested renters come to Campanda.com and they're searching for their vacation, they'll put in the location that they want to pick up, and our site will show them all of the inventory that's available for their specific, the dates that they want in the location that they want, with the sort of amenities or other specifications they have for their rental. And then they can message back and forth with you, the RV owner, or request to book your RV, at which point you can review them and decide if it's something that you want to do. But all of it is done on a location basis, where you put your RV up and it shows up in results for renters that are looking to pick it up within a radius of where you're located.
Yeah, so as an RV owner like myself, what's the benefits of listing my RV with your company as opposed to other companies?
It's a great question. Well, I would first say that to an RV owner who hasn't done this before, there's a lot of questions that you're going to have. That some of them are kind of generic, and some of them are specific to your rig. And there's and those questions extend beyond the sign up process. And so it ties back to what I was saying as far as differentiator for Campanda, is that those questions that you have, you get quick answers from a person on the phone or through email, whatever your preference is with Campanda. We provide best-in-class protections for your rig. So our insurance product covers the full value of the RV.
Yeah.
We've got $1 million in liability. Our roadside assistance product is structured such that there are no sort of hidden fees or out-of-pocket expenses on the part of the owner or the renter. And the way we handle security deposits, we ensure that you have the cash at hand to, if it's a small repair, if anything does come up, you want to fix something or clean something after a rental, you can do that quickly. And in the event that we have a very low claims rate, but in the event that you do need to use the insurance product, we match that security deposit to the deductible for the insurance process. So this, for you, is really a money-making enterprise, and you're not ever in a position where you're going to lose money as a result of working with Campanda. Nice.
Now, as an RV owner myself, is it safe, or is there some kind of system to find out if these people can drive an RV, or is there some kind of requirement to find out if they're qualified to to operate an RV, whether it's a fifth wheel or a motorhome?
Sure. So the simple answer is yes. The longer answer is that because we have everything from conversion vans all the way up to Class A diesel pushers, we've got fifth wheels, we've got trailers. Every RV owner has different specifications for what the ideal renter for them is. So we don't necessarily dictate that we'll only allow people to rent who have rented an RV before, or who have driven an RV before, but it is entirely in your rights to say in your listing that you only want to rent to people who have experience renting an RV. And the way that we manage that is that, it's not like booking a hotel room today, where somebody can come online, can book your RV, and all of a sudden it's done, and you had no say in it, and it just happened, right?
Right.
The way it works is that any interested renter will request to book your RV, and you'll get a little message from them, and where they can talk about their experience driving a motorhome, or if it's a towable, what kind of a truck they're going to show up in, so that they don't show up with the Prius to pick up a fifth wheel or something like that.
Yeah, that would be right. You see, I have a fifth wheel, so I'd be concerned about, do they have the right kind of rig to handle it?
Yeah, and so the way we do that is, we coach the RV owner to or advise them to, in the listing, to describe exactly what the type of renter they want to have, right? This is a fifth wheel. Mm-hmm. You have to have experience towing, towing a trailer, of at least a certain length or weight, right? And the truck you show up with has to be able to handle certain specifications. And then from there, in the messaging platform, when a renter inquires, you have the opportunity then to, before you decide if you want to move forward or not, ask them further qualifying questions about their experience. Ask them questions that give you comfort that they actually know what they're talking about and that they're going to be able to handle the rig in the way that you want it to be handled. And then our support team, of course, is here to help facilitate that conversation process and make sure that you, as the RV owner, have all of the information that you need or want in order to be comfortable with each renter before you decide to move forward. Gotcha. So that's one of the important things about a platform like Campanda, and it's true of our competitors, here as well. That this notion of renting your RV to a complete stranger is a little bit inaccurate, because you'll have had quite a bit of conversation and back and forth and qualification well before you even decide this is, on a each case basis, this is something you want to move forward with.
Yeah. So now, when it comes to fifth wheels or trailers, I'm just asking this as a personal question. Does any of those owners ever rent out their vehicle and their trailer?
Great question again. Yes. So for each owner, that's different, and depending on how the vehicle itself is insured for you privately, it's something that we would advise you to talk to our team about, so that we can make sure that we can provide you coverage that extends to the vehicle as well. Vehicle coverage is a little bit different from motorhome coverage. As far as most licensed drivers, will have coverage through their own insurance policies. But it's important, in a situation like that, we allow it, we support it. We love RV owners, fifth wheel and trailer owners that are interested in, renting the truck that matches that towable. But we definitely would encourage you to give us a call and talk to us and make sure that you fully understand how our insurance product will work with it, what's covered, and that all works for you. But it's something that we're seeing quite a bit of.
It kind of makes sense, because a lot of times the equipment is all kind of set up for that fifth wheel or trailer, and maybe the trailer hitch is just ideal for that trailer. And it's like, I think it'd make more sense to rent my truck out in the fifth wheel at the same time.
Yeah, give them both.
Yeah. So
how often do you get to go out how often do you get your fifth wheel out on the road?
Not enough. Actually, I use it kind of like a vacation home. So I have it up in Central Oregon. I live in Arizona, and it's on some property of my Sherry's folks. And so we go up and visit them because they're getting up in age a little bit. And so we just go up there, stay in the RV for 1 or 2 weeks and check on it and, clean the systems and all that stuff. And then we leave it up there for a while. So, we used to live in it full time. So yeah, we used,
Very cool.
I do,
also.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I know you guys are a growing company, and that's awesome. But do you guys have any new goals for the whole year? What's your growth, or what's some of the new things or you're looking at for 2018?
Man, another excellent question. So, speaking at a really high level, what we see in all of our markets, but especially in the U.S., is that there is just so much demand or interest in renting an RV, and we, for the RV owners that we work with today, we have more demand than we can fill right now. And on the flip side, I talk to a lot of RV owners around the country who have sort of gotten into a mindset of, the idea of renting an RV is crazy and I would never do it. But then when we have a conversation about the types of things we're talking about here, about the way that we protect RV owners and the control that they have over how it all works, it really sort of changes, and the light bulb clicks of, well, man, this motorhome, for example, is sitting in my driveway 3 weeks a month, and I could be renting it out for $250 a day. And there's so much demand in my area. We have RV owners who've signed up with us just, for example, in the last couple months for this upcoming camping season, and already have $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in bookings set up for their summer, and so it's an awesome passive income for them.
That's great.
Back to your question though, is I would say it's our number one goal is to continue to get the message out there about what this opportunity really is for RV owners, and to get enough beautiful, unique, inventory out there so that all the renters that want to go out and have an adventure and get on the road and have their vacation in an RV have the opportunity to do so.
So this is I wasn't expecting to ask this question. I don't think I'll throw you, but let's say I have my fifth wheel and I take it over to Lake Havasu and I put it in an RV park, and I put it up for monthly use. Can I rent my RV to somebody to go visit Lake Havasu with an RV that's already set up at the RV park?
Absolutely. So the one caveat there is that each RV park has different rules.
Yeah, I imagine that you have to get an agreement with the RV park too. But yeah.
And so I can't tell you one way or another if on a park by park basis that'll work. But what we do see quite a bit of, especially with trailers and fifth wheels, also is the RV owners offering additional services, which would be pickup and drop off, right? So you could add on a pickup drop off fee where a renter who wants to go to a park wants to have that sort of fifth wheel, really comfortable experience, have a lot of space for their family, but maybe they don't have experience, towing a big trailer like that.
Now you're getting my attention.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
We see RV owners where they'll set up a couple different options. They'll say, this is where I'm located. Delivery within 50 miles is, $300 extra. Delivery within 100 miles is $500 extra. And outside of that, I won't deliver. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
We also have some RV owners that keep their rigs stationary. And what I would just advise there is, make that really clear when you're setting your listing up, so that you only get the type of renters that are interested in exactly what you have to offer. We don't want to waste your time. We don't want to waste the renter's time. We want to make sure that everyone knows what they're getting into. So it's all about just being clear if the rig is stationary, or if you would deliver it, or if it's truly mobile.
Yeah. Now I get to tell you, it's like I was really hesitant. I mean, I've always kind of renting out my RV, but that's why we're doing this interview, because one is you got my head exploding with ideas like how I could get more return in investment on my RV, because I've told people on our radio shows I bought mine new and I'm underwater on my fifth wheel. It's a beautiful fifth wheel and I'm not using it that much. And so this not only with your services of good liability insurance and stuff like that, but having the options of I could set this thing up down here as a vacation home and let snowbirds come down and rent it out for 4 months or something. It's like I never even thought of that before.
Yeah.
So fantastic. I mean, that's so yeah. So do you see the industry evolving at all?
Absolutely. So, for starters, the industry, just sort of camping, outdoors, RVing is booming in sort of every way you could possibly, look at it. We see sales of new units are up, sales of used units are up, campground bookings are the highest they've been, and there is a real push towards this concept of the sharing economy, that people like you have purchased something that you can't use all of the time that you want to, and there's somebody else out there that would pay great money for it, and under the right conditions that you would both be comfortable with, a third party connecting you guys, providing all of the security and transparency and trust that you need in order to be comfortable. But while that has really evolved in huge ways in other industries, in hotels, for example, Airbnb is the largest, so to speak, hotel chain in the world right now, and they don't own a single piece of real estate.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
Uber is the largest taxi service on earth, and they don't own a single car. But that hasn't, that I would say only in the last year or so is really starting to grow in the RVing industry. And I see that really picking up in the next couple of years.
Yeah. So, as a consumer or a person wanting to rent, is there any way that good advice for saving money? Like, is it better to go, do a 1 week rental, a 1 month rental? Is there any benefits to how long I rent an RV?
So again, that is up to the RV owner.
Gotcha.
So an RV owner can decide that if it's a 1 month or 2 month rental, or even a couple week rental, that they'll offer a discounted rate off of a 2 or 3 or 4 day, right? But that's not something that we necessarily require, because we really want to keep it simple, where we're the platform, we provide the security and the safety and the support. But everything other than that, it's your little business, and you are the CEO of that business to make any decision that is right for your RV. And so it's again, it comes back to communication, right?
Gotcha.
So as a renter, if you want to go on a bigger trip and you see a rate, a daily rate, and you don't see that RV owner has advertised a monthly discount, I would highly encourage you to message them and say, hey, I want to take this thing off your hands for 45 days, and you're about to make $10,000. Is there any way we can work out, some sort of a deal here, so that I can really do the longer trip that I want? And more often than not, we see the RV owners being pretty accommodating to those kinds of conversations, because it's beneficial to them as well.
So I assume there's no minimum or maximum rental time?
Again, up to each RV owner. So when you set up your listing, if for example, you got that fifth wheel all set up, and you decided that, to have somebody come and rent it for 1 or 2 or 3 nights just isn't worth the hassle to you of having somebody come in and clean it and put on new sheets and all that, or maybe, move it from one facility to another, you can set your minimum rental period in the platform. And so when a renter tries to request it, it'll tell them that it has that minimum. But again, that's on an individual basis, so you can make that determination for whatever is best for you.
Yeah. So as an RV owner, is there any recommended supplies that I should have in my RV to accommodate people renting my rig?
That's one of the biggest questions we hear from RV owners as they're getting set up. Once they are comfortable with an understanding of sort of the security and insurance side of it, then we go into, how do I optimize this listing? How do I make the most out of this and put some money in my pocket? And so the basics, would be linens and kitchenware, right? That's something that for the most part, every RV owner is providing when they rent out. Beyond that, we see all sorts of stuff, and it's in the platform. As an owner, you can add additional services and set the price for those additional services however you see fit. So I've seen RV owners that rent bicycles, they rent folding chairs, they rent external grill. I've seen as much as kayaks and canoes, and even some Class A's where you have the option to rent a little ATV that if you've got a toy hauler, the toys to throw in the back there. But I would say that the basics are linens, kitchenware, and then we see a lot of RV owners renting out lawn chairs and bikes, so the kind of stuff that you would want to have if you were going on a trip yourself. Yeah,
that's amazing. So I urge everybody that definitely to go to Campanda and check out their listings and go check out their facts pages. I notice you have really good information for renters and for owners on your website that's very informative. Which me and Derek both have been going through it, and I gotta admit, having a one-on-one conversation with you has actually made me think of what more I could do with my RV, and I thought, well, I got a fifth wheel, nobody'd be interested in that thing. But now I'm kind of like, right? And so I am so grateful that we had the chance to interview you. Do you have?
Well, thank you very much. I'm really grateful to have had the opportunity to be here, and these kinds of conversations are, exactly what we love to do every day. And so to anyone out there listening, if you have questions yourself, or things that go beyond what we provide on the website, don't hesitate to pick up the phone and put us to the test. That's what we're here for.
Yep. So on the website, we'll put in the description, you'll see we have your 800 number on the screen right now, and we'll put it in our description too for the audio. And on the screen that you're looking at, if you're watching the live show, we have your website up there, which is campanda.com, which is CAMPANDA, like panda. So it's CAM, panda.com. And we'll put that in the description too, make sure people can find you. But if we get a lot of feedback and all kinds of questions like that, it's like, I'd love to have you back on again if we get find it necessary to have more of a conversation. But I'm very happy we had the chance to have you on the show, because one, I learned a lot, and two, I know that there's a lot of people like me with nice rigs or nice fifth wheels and stuff, and it's just sitting somewhere. Yeah. Like mine's sitting up in Central Oregon. Some of them are sitting in people's yards. Some are sitting in a storage unit. It's like we could really put these things to work and make this a better investment.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Make some money. Yeah.
So, Nick, I want to thank you so much for spending the time with us. And if you do you have anything you'd like to add to the conversation before we wrap this up?
Just that it's been a real pleasure speaking with you both, Rob and Derek, and that I welcome the opportunity to come back and answer any other questions that listeners have. Anytime you invite me, I'll be here.
Cool. I appreciate it. So you guys have been wonderful.
Totally.
Definitely given us the information that we. I got to tell you, I'm sold.
Rob's eyes are just lit up right now.
It's like when my wife gets home from work tonight, it's like, dear, we got to talk.
Honey, I came up with this great idea.
So yeah. Well, hey, Nick. So Nick, we're going to let you go, but I want to thank you very much for spending the time with us.
Absolutely.
I think all of us learned a lot.
Big time.
And I urge everybody to go to the website and educate yourself. And if you want us to do another interview with Nick, we'd be happy to do it. So yeah, I think you got a wonderful product and service, and
absolutely.
I think a lot of people just don't realize what they can do with their RV. So
peer-to-peer RV rentals, the new thing in the RV market. I'm telling you,
definitely. So once again, thank you, Nick, very much, and we're going to let you go. And I hope your company grows and grows and grows.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you having me.
All right. Well, you take care now.
Have a great day, Nick.
Likewise.
Bye now. Well, that was a fantastic interview.
That was awesome.
I learned a lot.
I learned a lot, too.
Because I was like getting ready to go, there's no way and I'd ever rent my RV out.
Totally changed your mind.
He did. I got to admit, guys. And so think about this. And if you got an RV, a lot of us have newer RVs.
Yeah.
That's a real problem, because the only way you can really take a new RV and get a trade-in is you have to trade up.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you end up paying cash.
Yeah.
Because most people are underwater. Because RVs are a terrible investment.
Yeah.
It's just plain old bad investment. So that was really interesting. What did you get out of it?
I loved it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's going to be the newest thing for RVs and people who own them. I mean, what a great idea.
Well, it's so much like all these things. Like like you were saying, like Uber's doing it, Lyft.
Yep.
Let's see, and then we got RV industry, and now what was the other one?
It was a B&B.
Oh, B&B.
Yeah, Airbnb.
Yeah. And I've never used that yet, but I've been starting to look at it because we're thinking about going to Mexico.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that might be the way to go.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
But yeah, an RV, huh?
So I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, because first thing I was going to say, well, what if they, what happens if it gets damaged or something? And he answered that right away.
He did. They have it covered. I mean,
yeah, it sounds like their particular company takes a lot of pride, and they're in several countries, so they've got to be quite the sophisticated kind of policies and stuff. I mean, they got to know what the heck they're doing.
42, right?
Yeah, and imagine all the things that could have happened, that probably has happened.
Yep.
And they've dealt with the experience of dealing with it, so... and they sound like they're just constantly growing.
Just busy. They have people on call that will walk you through the coverage policies that go with doing that. I mean, what a relief.
Yeah, that's cool. And it's like, so let's say you were saying like Class C was what, about $250, $300 a day?
100, about $250 a day.
So like a motel, you're paying nowadays $110 to $150 up to $200
up
a day.
To 200, yeah.
And it never feels like home.
Never.
It's always off the beaten path and stuff. So you're not really. I mean, like in an RV, if you're in an RV park, which that's where you got to park anyway. But you kind of have like the picnic tables. Maybe you might have a fire pit. That's kind of rare, but sometimes. But then you just it's like having the tent right next to you, only with all the amenities.
Exactly. And I'm thinking campground. I'm like, park the RV. I mean, I hate going back to the hotel. You're bored, you sit and watch TV. If you're at a campground or an RV park, you go outside and you have some fun. Yeah,
and the RV parks, they either got, a lot of them got swimming pools,
everything,
all kinds of unique things about them, and maybe sometimes they're even having tour vans and stuff that will go to the RV parks and take people to different places, depending on where you're at, like San Diego or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the amenities in an RV park are endless.
Yeah, so, I mean, I imagine you still got to deal with the fact that do RV parks, if they're full. I don't know if there's any, I don't think there's any privilege of having a rental and being able to get into a full RV park.
Yeah, probably
it's like, so you probably still have to deal with that stuff. But all in all, it's like, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, great idea.
And then for us, I'd be one of those real picky guys. It's like, I'm going to have all these stipulations on my thing. I'll probably hardly ever rent mine out because it's like, all right, you have to wear gloves.
You have to put booties on your shoes.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. So
that was a great idea. I mean, Campanda, they're doing it.
Yeah,
I love it.
And they're when we met them earlier, they were very professional.
Absolutely.
We were able to ask anything we wanted to, and they also gave us suggested areas of asking that was constantly asked them.
Yeah, exactly.
So
their fact sheet was great. Answered a lot of questions on their website.
So look in the description. We'll have the link to their website there, and go check them out. Go read the facts.
Absolutely.
And I hope our interview was helpful to everybody.
Nick did a great job. He was real thorough. He explained everything to me and Rob. We had questions for him, and we were just marking them off. He just was going through everything.
I had a lot of questions, and I was lining them out as he was talking to us. It was really cool.
Great job, Nick.
So RV, and it's so nice to have you on the show, by the way.
Thank you.
I always put the emphasis that RV Talk Radio is about lifestyles.
Absolutely.
And so you're one of those kind of young adults.
Absolutely, yep.
You're not really a millennial.
No.
But you're in the 30s. We'll just say you're in the 30s.
Perfect.
So I've described to you, and I once again, you got the outsider looking in, but and you're not married right now.
Nope, single guy.
So if you had the opportunity and you had a van, or maybe even a Class C, and decided you wanted to go travel the United States, would you do it?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat, without question.
How would you do it?
Now that I would probably do what Campanda wants.
Well, it's like, so there's a phenomenon out there, and I'll kind of describe it a little bit, but we call it, there's guys that go out and travel, and they either have, they can work virtual, or they'll do what's called work camping, where it's actually a company called Work Camper, where you can find jobs at either other RV parks, or working at certain, like Amazon, will hire people for like a month and a half during Christmas time and actually have RV parks set up.
Really?
Where people can take their RV, stay there, and work for Amazon during the holidays.
Great idea.
There's and another big thing is like the beet harvest up in the Idaho area, Montana.
Farming.
They love RVers.
Nice.
There's a lot of jobs that cater to people that travel or gypsy kind of folks.
Yeah, or if you just want to get out of town for a couple months. And try
there's others that, they may be a programmer or a networker. They could actually, as long as they have the internet, can work online. And then there's people that will just move their RV that they may have sales jobs or have something that it makes them mobile. Another couple I met, by the way, here's another great example, what they call traveling nurses.
Yeah,
your mom would know that.
Oh, yeah, big time.
They get contracts to work at hospitals for certain amounts of time. And it's really a pain for them to move around to apartment to apartment because apartments are usually a 1-year lease. And, and if they don't stay a whole year, then they get charged more.
Big time. It's pretty expensive.
So an RV is ideal for traveling nurses. So now that I've thrown those things at you, there's one more out there, what we call the dark side. We call it the e-beggars. So imagine if you might have a friend or somebody you might know that was kind of like a gypsy, and they get a van, and maybe it's kind of a rundown van, but it's okay van, and they just start doing YouTube videos, and once they get it to a certain level, they have to get to a certain level before it even makes them any money. But let's say they start going, and maybe their videos are pretty decent, and and it's amazing how people follow somebody like that. Because there's what kind of problem is he going to have today? Does transmission fall out in the middle of the road or something?
Anything can happen.
And these guys get out, and we have this little thing called e-begging.
E-begging.
So some of them will be making money from the YouTube channel as a commission, like we do too, but not for traveling. Anyway, they may sell stickers, we have stickers for, Arizona Talk Radio. When we do that, we actually have them for RV Talk Radio. You can actually get those stickers and magnets and stuff, or cups or things like that. And they may sell those or T-shirts.
T-shirts,
or products that they're constantly pushing on their channel.
And
then another one, I told you about Amazon. I told you about the affiliate system.
Yes.
So they'll talk about a product with the intention of you in the description clicking on that link, and they get a kickback from it. Maybe 6-10%, something like that. So it's kind of what we call the e-beggars of the
e-begging.
And some of them have been very successful.
Absolutely.
Of course, and of course I'm an old timer, so I'd be the first one to admit that I kind of have, but I want to keep an open mind. So having younger generation or having someone that's actually in the age of some of these people are doing that. I mean, now that I've thrown all that out there, don't be afraid of this because I have a stance on something.
That's okay.
Just like the rentals and stuff, I had a stance on that, and it's totally changed.
Nick changed your mind.
I did. So now I'm going to ask you the same question. If you had the opportunity in a van or
Class C or
Class
something?
C, or something, would you do it?
I would do the work. And what's it called?
Work camping.
Work camping. I wouldn't do the e-begging. I don't know if that's who I am.
You can intermix them, and that's actually not bad.
I mean, I think it's to each his own. But I would rather maybe find something fun to do, like farming. I'd love, to be a farmhand or something. But to sell products, that in a van, just to me, it's like you said, not my cup of tea. I mean, it's a great idea, and everybody.
Let's say you're in the middle of Texas. And your transmission blows out. And you're doing videos. This has happened.
A big time.
People will get on there and go, I'm in trouble. I can't fix my transmission. It costs too much. I'm stuck here. Can my viewers send me money?
Okay, gotcha. I would say, hey, if that was me, I would say, is there anybody close by that could come help me fix this? Maybe something like that. But not send me money.
Oh, yeah, they do it. It's like, here's my PayPal link. Can you help me out?
That's
I mean, it actually gets that bad.
Really? I mean, if you're desperate, and, you know, I guess you'll say and do anything.
Yeah.
E-begging, I don't like it.
And of course, you know, and remember, we stay on the subject of lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So that's why we kind of talk about lifestyle. When actually, it doesn't matter if it's a van. Some people do it in a trailer or fifth wheel or motorhome.
Yep.
And some of them are young couples.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's actually young couples out there that don't have virtual jobs.
Yeah.
That are depending on their YouTube money, and some of them might have some talents outside.
Sure.
Maybe doing web design or something like that, graphics, or some freelance stuff.
Yeah, and you said some of them do really great videos, like you know, that are actually really good and entertaining.
And so without influencing you, I mean, I've been showing Derek some of these, like I just showed you Just Incredible there, but I need to show you more so you don't make judgment on just one particular kind of scenario. But
sure,
you know, there's like the fanatic. How come I went blank? Eric, he does videos, and there's some other guys out there, but nomadic fanatics.
Nomadic, gotcha.
Went blank.
Gotcha.
We've had so much going on today, guys. Sorry. So. Anyway, and let you have a chance to see them without actually throwing like my brand on it.
Sure.
And so it'd be really interesting as time goes on to have you on the show more about doing, you know, looking at these different observations, maybe suggesting ideas of how to make it successful for people. I mean, I can understand people escaping. You know, they want to get out of the rat race. They want to do the 9 to 5. And it's surprisingly, there's been even professionals that was like, I've had it enough. I'm selling everything. I'm going to go travel and just live off the land kind of thing.
Yeah, a guy named Mick Dodge out of Washington.
Yeah, I mean, and some people don't do it in RV. Sometimes they just hitchhike around the United States or go to different countries. And so I understand that, but of course, the other side of it is, if we all did that, what would the society be like?
We wouldn't have one.
It's like,
we would be a third world country.
Who's going to build the airplanes, sell the food? Who's going to do? Who's going to be the doctors? Who's going to cure the next cancer? Who's going to go to Mars next?
We would start moving backwards.
All these guys, you know, in the vans are not going to be the ones doing it.
No, exactly. It's interesting.
Yeah. So there's like this campaign you always see on the internet, like, come on out here, join us. Here's how you can be a great van person.
He just wants your money.
Let's be
real.
The bigger the channel is, the more money they make off of their YouTube, you know, and so we see a lot of that. So I don't want to take the negative side, but I certainly want to say, hey, have you considered this?
Sure.
You know, you're like, do you realize if you live in a van, your main means of toilet is a bucket?
Basically,
your whole life is around a 5-gallon bucket.
Interesting.
So how do you is that the kind of lifestyle you want?
Not me. Not me. I would really. I mean, if I was in another country and and I had limited things I could go to and do things, I might do that, but it would be desperate.
So they'll do all these videos and stuff and not mention the fact that their RV doesn't have restroom facilities or anything.
Not at all.
And can't take showers.
No.
So they'll do like the baby wipe thing.
Yeah.
And so they don't kind of put much emphasis on that. And it's like, on our show, we're going, guys, that looks like fun and maybe living out in the middle of BLM land would be kind of neat and peaceful. But here's the other things you need to know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what we've always been about. And
so much more to it, behind the scenes. It's not as nice as you would think.
Definitely. So, I don't know. But I can see the enjoyment of doing it. And if you have the right scenario, like if you're, it doesn't matter if you're married or not married. You could still do it.
Yeah, it could be you can bring the whole family for a month. I mean, as long as you set it up right. You could get a tent, put it on the side, and use the RV,
Yeah, or some people work their heavy-duty careers. Maybe one's a programmer, and that one's been doing something. They they moved into their RV for their last year, saved a whole bunch of money, and says, you know what, we're going to quit our jobs and go travel for a year and a half.
Yep.
It's kind of similar to what me and Sherry did.
Yeah, totally.
And then get back into the cycle again. World. Yeah. Just because you only live once, So and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that either.
No, got to try new things.
And so all of this I've said is there's nothing wrong with any of them, but they all have a dark side or another story.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you can't judge them all just by the videos.
Just by the happy videos where everybody's smiling.
It's like Facebook. I always tell people on Facebook, everybody goes, God, everybody looks like they have such a happy life.
Yeah.
Well, it's only a picture. It's only like a... I mean, are you going to like show everything that's bad in your day on your Facebook? Nobody would want to watch your Facebook.
No one wants to
You're
acknowledge
going to be
it.
taking pictures of the happy stuff.
It's a false presentation of a smidget of your...
And it's the same thing happens in the RV industry.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next subject. Well, hey, I wanted to take the time to say thank you to Derek for having you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm hoping to have you on actually more on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to.
And we actually want to try to do a actual live. This is pre-recorded.
Yes.
So, and we confess we had to pre-record it because we wanted to get the interview in. And we didn't want to pressure Nick.
No pressure on Nick. We wanted to be relaxed.
Yeah, so we wanted Nick to relax. And
Sure.
we were. So next week we have a couple coming in. I'm not going to say their names yet.
Yeah.
That they're going to do an interview with us. And I think you would be awesome on that interview.
Okay, cool.
And so I'm hoping they can Skype in with us.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, they're a super neat couple. They're older couple. They're in a motorhome, and I'll kind of leave it at that. But they seem like he's got a good sense of humor. I got a feeling we'll get along really well.
Nice.
But I'd love to find out so much about him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like someday you want to take off. I mean, these guys will give us ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Just like Nick gave me ideas of something I could do with my RV.
Yeah.
You may want to say, go check out.
Totally.
Like, I think it'd be fun, like, to travel, like, down to New Orleans or something.
Yes.
I've never been in the southern states.
Always wanted to go down
and to
there.
be able to maybe take off for a month or two.
Yeah, do some good fishing.
Kind of like your brother.
Yeah, exactly. Like Zach.
Yeah, except I don't want to go Honduras.
No. Ugh, no.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, we did an interview with his brother on Arizona Talk Radio, and he has quite a story. So if you ever get a chance to see that video, he went to Nepal.
Yeah, Nepal. Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're always looking for new ideas. Sherry and I, us too. It's like, here we are. We got this RV, and it sits around a lot now, and we only use it when we go to Central Oregon, which we love.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice there, but. Eventually it's like, it would be kind of nice to rent that puppy out.
Why not use it to make some income? Yeah. I think it's great.
Yeah. So anyway, I'd love to hear in the comments below, guys. First of all, in the description, we'll have information about Campanda and also the website and phone number for them.
Yep.
And down below, we'd love to hear in your comments, say hello to Derek.
Yes. Hi, guys.
Our future, someday we're going to influence him into an RV. It'll be interesting to see what direction he goes.
Yeah.
And if you need a bucket, I got some buckets in the garage.
I'm going to need a bucket.
No problem. So we want to say goodbye to everybody, and thank you very much for watching RV Talk Radio, and we'll see you next time. Bye now. Hey, thank you for listening to RV Talk Radio. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. We'd appreciate it. Thank you. Bye now.